The only difference between you and the success that you're reaching for is the ability to stick with the strategy and to limit that strategy, right? The limits are just as important. So like take that guy, the MACD does a billion things a day on a billion different pairs and instruments. So like have a set of time where you trade, maybe you trade pre-opening bell or post-opening bell, not including the New York Open. And cool, you're allowed to take, a couple of winners, couple of losers, and then you're done for the day, whether or not you're up or down. And that's it. That's how you manage your week, your month, your year. Then profit is not that elusive. It's not this far-fetched unicorn that you're reaching for. It's well within your grasp. Because even something like the MACD or the RSI, it can work. Like or trend lines or supply and demand. I mean, all of it can work.
Yeah, lots of ways to do it.
I'm a big advocate. I had this epiphany last night that maybe I want to try to make a video on is I thought about something is why is everyone targeting the areas where price has not went, like the fair value gap concept, the imbalance concept? And again, no hash toward it. There are people who are doing really well with it. Great.
It's
But
because
why?
of ICT.
Yes, yeah.
That's why.
The guy gets such a, yeah, he's a cranky guy. But either way, why are not more people talking about the places where price does go a lot? Like, so take this big confuzzlement of a mess. This area has been nothing but magnetic, right? Where price does go, not where, hey, price should go here. There's a gap. It didn't go there. So now we're targeting there. And I get it. I think there's a value there. So again, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, the posting that I did on Tuesday showing, hey, these are all of our areas of interest. All of those that we were targeting were areas where price was magnetized to, right? Price reacted at those levels a whole freaking lot, and it continued to do so. We knew here, or whatever, here, where these stopping points were going to be. And fine, we're marking it up on the bigger time frame. You're scrolling down to the smaller time frame. You can set an alert with the features here, and then it's really cool. Like, because when price gets there, you can go down to the 1 minute time frame, and depending on what price is doing, you're going to trade in or out of that zone, right? Cool. And you do it again, and do it again. This area, ICT, Jenny, Joe Blow, Jesus, nobody decided that this is an important level. Price decided that it was an important level because price came here and stopped 100 billion times. So the idea that we know from here where price is going, coming back up to, going back and coming up to, hey, we're buying down here because we hit this other level. Where are we targeting? We're targeting where price has been before, but we're always lowballing a little bit because we like to be conservative with our stop loss or take profits to make sure that they're hit more often. So I don't ever target the extremes, like the extreme lows. I always target a little bit before them, right?
Order filled.
But to me, this is easy. Just something I was thinking about.
There's lots, you look at that chart, there are
Stop
all
filled.
kinds of different ways of looking at this. Right here, we've got a trend line. Every time it comes down and interacts with that trend line, it tends to turn around. So you put a stop loss down in here someplace and you target, 1 or 2 times your stop loss, even 1 time your stop loss. You're going to win until you don't, right?
Yeah.
And the same, but we've got a level right here. We come down, we interact with that level, we bounce off of it, and it'll work until it doesn't.
I just think it makes more sense to target where price is going or has been. Like price decided that it liked this level, so why don't we like this level too? Like this is a confuzzlement of a mess, and it cleans it up to go to the line chart. Look how many times price stopped from here. I'll get it out another box. But in this zone, like price came into this zone in one way or another. And when you add those wicks back in, like we know this is a super important area. So as we go above it, we know what we're looking for. As we go below it, we know what we're looking for. Like there's so many ways to see that. I just think it's worth talking about. Is maybe start targeting where price does like. So when you go to mark up your charts, let's go to a pair we haven't been. You go to the 1 hour, really simple, normalize the view. If it's too messy on this time frame, go up a time frame, right? Or down if necessary. But really simple. Mark your highs and your lows that you see. Because remember, this isn't subjective. We normalize the view. So now we know for sure that the data is always going to be the same every time you do this. It's not subjective. Mark the areas where you're looking to target. So where you get a lot of interaction. So this is where price has stopped before, and it's got a lot of different touches. So cool, we know that that's an area. I mean, this is also messy, just like we saw on the other one. Coming from here, I'm gonna have to zoom out a little bit. Where has price stopped? If you can't see it, go to this, you'll see the areas prior to peaks. Huge area. And I promise you, even if we use the rewind feature, these areas, will have been important in the future when you mark them up in the past. And if you don't believe me, go try it. So go try this and just mark up your charts. There's a lot of play. This is way more than I would ever do. We're kind of sitting in these consolidation areas with the world at large looming, but you'll see all of these touches over and over and over again. And you can do it. You can hit the replay button. You can go all the way back to a certain point and say, and you can let somebody else pick it and do the same thing. Say, okay, so this is where I'm looking at. Where are my areas of interest? And then you'll notice price comes down and reacts to this area. Price comes up and reacts to this area. Price comes up and reacts to this area. You'll know from here where these next directions are. Because of how price reacted in the past, you'll know, hey, if you're buying, you're going to target here or here. Of course, here, if you start to sell and you break below, you got a low, you're going to be targeting here and here, and find out, wait a minute, holy cow. No indicators, nothing. Like, I can do this. It's really kind of cool to see. You can mark it up from the past to see what it's going to do in the future. And not every time, but a very, very large percent of the time, you're going to get a lot of play at those areas. A lot of play. Do that once, twice a week.